Flowers! Look at all these flowers! Flowers! Woo, flowers! Flowers!
Da 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 do 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 da 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 do do. All right. Da 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 do do do. Hey now. Da 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 do do. Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interested too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class. Well, will you look at that? These little guys all grown up. See, they've got flowers. Flowers. Look at those beautiful flowers. That means they've reached sexual maturity. It's time for me to get the bees. If you remember, these flowers, let's get one here. The little ones there. They're all doing okay. It's like, oh, look at that little flower just came out. There it is. Right, remember, they're both male and female at the same time. They have yellow petals, but their stamens surround a pistil. So that means it's time for me to get some bees.
I'm a lonely flower. I wish a bee would come visit me so I could become a fruit. Please, bees, visit me.
Okay, so like to review, our flowers are what we call perfect flowers. And that means they're both male and female at the same time. The male part is called the stamen. Stamen, that's the boy part. And the female part is called the pistil. That is the female part of the flower. The boy part, the stamen, makes pollen. And pollen has in it, pollen grains are sperm cells, male reproductive cells. That's what makes males of any type of organism male, is that they make sperm cells. Okay, at least from a reproductive standpoint. The pistil is the female part, which means it makes egg cells. Again, in terms of reproductive biology, females are defined as those that make large reproductive egg cells. At least in terms of the reproductive potential, they're known as females. Now, of course, plants are stuck in place. So what do? They advertise to insects, and our plants love bees. Bees are interesting. There are lots of different types of bees. Not all bees are pollinators. Excuse me. But one of the best pollinators we have is the European honeybee. And the European honeybee is an invasive, well, I don't want to say invasive species, but it is. It was brought over from Europe by the settlers from Europe with their apple trees. And one of the reasons that makes honeybees so good at pollinating is they are fuzzy dudes. Actually, technically, they're dudettes. If you ever see a bee out and about, good chances that it's a worker female. Although we call it female, although it's not really a female because it doesn't make any eggs. It doesn't make anything. It's reproductively sterile. Yeah, but they are chromosomally female. I guess for lack, we're going to study that later on in the year. Right, and then of course, right here's the male part is called the stamen. It makes pollen, and if pollen fertilizes eggs made in the female part, you get what we call a fruit. So if we're lucky, we'll have some fruits here soon, and you'll be grandparents.
Oh, we have some
nights would seem so long.
Yes.
With you
I don't know about you, but I always keep a bucket of like dead bee parts in a drawer, right? Oh, you mean you don't? That's not weird, is it? Anyway, these dead kind of dried out bees, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use their bodies to pollinate. I don't need them alive. I didn't kill these bees, by the way, but bees don't live forever. So yeah, I use their bodies as pollinators. I think what I'll do is I like glue them to a stick or something. What do you mean? What do you mean you think that's weird? You're weird.
Oh, we have some
Nights would seem so long
bees. Yes.
with you.
The best way to get some bees to visit you is to advertise, right? I mean, you gotta show the bees something that they like and yellow. Honeybees especially love the color yellow, so yellow flowers are good. Smells are good. Sugar, nectar, we call that the sugary stuff, you know, the reward. And the bees will come, right, and visit the flowers, and then pick up some nectar, which they bring back to the hive and vomit into honeycombs. And they pick up some pollen, some of which they take back to eat, but some of it gets dropped off on other plants. Let's get the bees going.
Oh, we have some
Nights would seem so long
bees. Yes.
with you.
You can see I got my bee on a stick. You know, a little bee on the stick, and then we're gonna follow this bee. Make, of course, the buzz. Buzz. Ooh, bee cam. Buzz. Oh, there you are. Right? And then they walk around the flower. They're looking for nectar, and then they accidentally pick up pollen. Right? And then they buzz over to the next flower. And they look around, and some of the pollen falls off, and then maybe they fly to the next to the next flower, and they buzz, 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 busy bee, right? I mean, if you look closely, you can see this bee is covered in pollen now. All that bee fur, it's kind of yellowy. Yeah, perfect. Buzz, 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 perfect pollinator. Buzz, 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 buzz. So this bee will visit a whole bunch of flowers, and if it was a live bee, it would go back to the hive and vomit all that nectar into the honeycomb. We call bee vomit honey. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Yeah, look, see all the pollen on that bee? Bzz, 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 bzz. Well, gotta get to work. It's busy being a bee.
Oh, we have some
Nights would seem so long
bees. Yes.
with you.
Now, if you're good, see in the middle of each flower, there's that tall part standing straight up. That's the pistil, that's the female part. So if the bees have done their job, they've pollinated this plant, it will then drop off its petals, and then that part, the pistil, will swell right up because it's swollen with eggs, and we will have what we call a fruit. That'll be a happy day.
Thank you, bees. Now I'm a fruit. You fertilized my flower, and now all these little babies inside me. Whoa, there are a lot of bees here. Ow! Oh, ow, ow! Oh, too many bees. Hey, everybody, have a great Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll see you back in school after the break.